I have a beautiful vintage Saito FA-65 four-stroke engine here. This is the last new in box engine that I've got that's never seen fuel. Every other engine I've got has had fuel or been run at one time or another. This engine I picked up from RC Groups, I don't know, a little while ago, a month or so ago. And I really wanted this one because of the box and the age of the engine itself. Those of you who aren't too familiar with Saito engines, they've been around since the late 70s or so, but their box colors have changed throughout the years, as most things do in marketing. But this box, I can tell from the color of it and its design, is from the probably the late 80s. So I was kind of excited about getting this box. So instead of just talking about the box, let me open this thing up and show you what I've got here. So it came complete with paperwork, instructions, some decals. It's a nice cleared panel that they put over there, and then of course the creme de la creme, the beautiful engine itself. So what I'm going to do here is I've decided to go ahead and not keep this as new in the box and start the break-in procedure on it. So what I want to do is kind of give this engine a quick check out before I take it out to the stand and run it for the first time. Now, like I said earlier, I know that this is a pretty old engine, and one of the reasons I can tell aside from the box is the design of this exhaust. A lot of the newer model Saitos will have an anodized aluminum canister, or now the latest model is a really ugly looking muffler. But I could tell when I saw the pictures of this that this was a really old engine, and that's really one of the reasons I wanted it. So let's get to installing our muffler. And again, I'm the first person that's ever opened this stuff, so this is kind of exciting here. Here's that exhaust, or that silencer, and the little washer that goes in here. Let's get that positioned in here. I think I am going to put just a drop or two of some oil on these threads, just to kind of help facilitate screwing it in for the first time. And that did seem to help it a little bit. Okay, our exhaust is fitted. As you can see, this features a slide choke mechanism. I'll keep that on and probably use it. But one of the other things I like to check here is the throttle barrel stopping. Make sure that it doesn't go fully closed. And this particular carburetor does have a throttle stop screw. There are some Saito carburetors that do not have this throttle stop screw, so that you can completely close the throttle. This one you can adjust. You can adjust it, and it looks like it's about open 1/16 of an inch, maybe 1.5 millimeters, which should be fine for what I need to do here to start it. Now, this glow plug is probably a Saito P2 plug, which is the original plug, so it's many years old. So I'm going to pull it out here real quick and just check, make sure it looks great. I've got an igniter here. Make sure it's going to light. Looks like it's glowing okay. So I think we're in good shape there. Let's get this gasket, copper gasket, back on here. Reinstall our plug. And this engine is ready to hit the stand. Now, the one thing I am going to do here is I want to read through the instructions real quick on the recommended procedures that Saito has for breaking in this engine, because I do want to try to follow this pretty closely. I mean, I have my own means to break them in, but this is a very nice engine. I want to just read what they say here. So here in their break-in procedure, and I'm quoting, Let's see here. The first let's see here. For the first 20 minutes of running, you will have the needle valve set at the slightly rich setting of 6,000 RPM for 3 minutes at full throttle. Slightly rich. Well, that's incredibly rich, but that's fine. Next is to lean out the mixture to achieve the highest RPM for about 30 seconds, then enrichen it up again to about 6,000 RPM. Repeat this procedure every 3 minutes or so. Okay, so what they're basically saying is fire the engine up, open it at wide open throttle, have it set the needle valve, adjust the needle valve setting to 6,000 RPM for the first 3 minutes, which that'll be a tank of fuel because at that rich of a setting is going to blow through fuel really quick. So the very first tank of fuel, and I'll probably just use a standard 6-ounce tank. I don't think I've got anything bigger right now on hand, but I'll use a 6-ounce tank of fuel, start it up, run it at 6,000 RPM or thereabouts for the first tank, wide open throttle. Once that tank is done, then I will fill the tank up again, allow the engine to cool, start it up, allow it to run 6,000 RPM for about 30 seconds, then I'll start to lean the mixture out and peak it for about 30 seconds, then I'll back it off, and I'll do that for the next tank or two. So that's the process I'm going to use to follow this. I think I'm probably going to strap a 12/6 prop on this thing for startup. Let me see real quick here if they actually recommend a break-in prop. A lot of times they'll recommend a propeller to use for break-in. I'm not seeing that they actually are recommending a propeller. Standard is this 11 7 3/4. It says do not operate at more than 11,500 RPM. So I'm going to put a 12/6 prop on it, take this outside and fire her up.